On Thursday, after I uploaded one of my videos, I received a WhatsApp message. It wasn't an inquiry, it wasn't praise, it was a challenge. She asked me, if a client leaves for a cheaper agency, doesn't that prove trust was never real? I paused, because that's one of those questions almost every agency founder has asked themselves. A client leaves, chooses someone cheaper, then one day they come back. Why? If trust existed, why did they leave? And if price mattered that much, why did they return? Most people think clients buy capability. I don't think they do. I think clients buy confidence. Capability creates confidence, but capability alone doesn't sustain it. Let me explain. Imagine you have the best designer in the country. Brilliant work, award-winning ideas, beautiful execution, but they're available only a few hours a day. Sometimes deadlines move, sometimes responses take hours, sometimes nobody knows what's happening. Now, imagine another team. Maybe they're slightly less creative, but every brief is acknowledged, every deadline is predictable, every stakeholder knows what's happening, every problem gets solved before leadership even asks. Who would you trust with a national campaign? Most enterprise leaders would choose the second team, not because they produce better designs, because they remove uncertainty. That's what enterprises actually buy. After that, she shared something personal. She said, I worked with a client for almost 10 months. They eventually left because another agency charged less. 3 months later, the same client came back. Then she asked me something that made me think, if trust was real, why did they leave in the first place? I replied with something I genuinely believe. Clients are learning too. Nobody teaches procurement. Nobody teaches vendor evaluation. Nobody teaches how to choose the right agency. Just as founders become better through experience, clients do too. Sometimes they only recognize operational excellence after experiencing its absence. Here's what we learned. The strongest client relationships aren't built because you're the most talented team in the room. They're built because you're the most predictable. We call this operational trust. Operational trust isn't confidence in your creativity. It's confidence in your operating system. It answers questions before they're asked. It reduces uncertainty before it becomes stress. Leadership stops asking, has this gone live? Who's handling this? Where are we? Because the system already provides those answers. That's when an external team stops feeling external. So what should you do when a client comes back? We've changed how we think about this. First, never punish a returning client. If they came back, they're not asking for forgiveness, they're asking for certainty. Second, never try to prove you were right. The goal isn't to win the argument, the goal is to rebuild confidence. Third, deliver exactly as if they never left, because today's returning client often becomes tomorrow's strongest advocate. Some of our longest client relationships didn't begin with loyalty, they began with comparison, and they survived because the operating system proved itself. After our conversation ended, she sent me one final message. She wrote, anyone can teach strategy. Only experience can teach judgment. I read that message twice because that's exactly what I want this channel to become. Not another marketing channel, a place where leaders learn how to make better decisions. We spend far too much time trying to convince clients not to leave. Maybe that's the wrong objective. Maybe our job isn't to make every client stay. Maybe our job is to build an operating system so dependable that if they ever leave, they immediately notice what's missing. The businesses that create the greatest long-term value aren't always the cheapest. They aren't always the most creative. They're the ones that make uncertainty disappear. That's what clients remember, and that's what they come back for. Have you ever had a client leave for a cheaper option and then come back